There was a time in Rainbow Six Siege when one name made the entire server hold its breath.
What? JoyStiCK's gonna go for a jog. The rotation outside is perfect. No! Make that work! JoyStiCK, you are a monster!
A player with zero emotions, zero hesitation. The aim that looked like it was coded by a machine.
By a double kill, JoyStiCK has himself in a great position, has himself a 4K JoyStiCK!
For years, JoyStiCK wasn't just an entry fragger, it was a nightmare. A cyborg who hunted down champions and broke the dynasty of the greatest team in Siege history, Prime G2. JoyStiCK's journey didn't start with Siege. It started when he was just 5 years old, sitting next to his father playing Call of Duty and racing games. His dad was a gamer, a lover of strategy games like World of Warcraft and StarCraft. But Daniil, he realized early that strategy games wasn't his thing, so he decided to embrace his Russian roots and dive into the world of Counter-Strike. JoyStiCK watched the very first Dota 2 International. Seeing the crowd on the stage lit a fire in him, he decided right then and there he wanted to become a professional esports player in the future. He grinded Counter-Strike Source and later CSGO and had over 6,000 hours of gameplay. By 2010, he was top 10 in the Russian Faceit rankings. The talent was there, but the stability wasn't. His team kept making roster changes and messing up in the tournaments and hitting dead ends. When JoyStiCK was studying in the Russian esports university, they needed JoyStiCK's CSGO team to participate in the first ever Russian Rainbow Six Siege tournament. JoyStiCK and his team agreed, and from that moment, everything changed. JoyStiCK realized that he could actually have a future in the game of Rainbow Six Siege. By late 2017, Room Factory was the team to beat in Russia. JoyStiCK knew this was his shot. He literally slid into their DMs begging for a tryout, but the team was skeptical. They just saw him as a CS convert who would just run and gun without using his brain. But when they finally gave him a chance, they were surprised. His raw mechanical potential was shocking. JoyStiCK joined Room Factory and they immediately found success regionally. And then later, they defied the odds and qualified for the Six Invitational 2018.
Go Shepard going in for one more smoke. And JoyStiCK up top. He's going to use all of them here, and unfortunately the diffuser is going to get dropped. What is happening here? Room Factory get 3 kills in a row, and the defenders at Room Factory will win.
But this fairy tale hit a wall in the SI. SI 2018 was a disaster.
What an amazing job from Ponak. Will he get the last one? No. Nest still alive. Planter, or diffuser still planted. Will he be able to deny this disable? No, he won't. He's down 2 players, but will he be able to get the third? He's hitting it. The fake's not happening. Nesk is going to clutch it out. 1 HP left on red. He's not going to be able to get it in time. Or will he? He's behind the reinforcement. No. That's got to move, and he will.
JoyStiCK was literally the worst player in the tournament. He had a rating of 0.54, only dropping 11 kills, being -19 on KD. They decided it's time for a change. In early 2018, JoyStiCK, alongside his longtime partners Shepard and Shockwave, left Room Factory for another Russian organization, Force. It was a blink and you miss it moment. In just 2 weeks, without even playing a single game for the organization, they were all let go off the roster without any official explanation. But this so-called failure had the silver lining. It was in Force that they met their new member of the roster, Karjeka. They formed a new squad called Identity. They were building something dangerous. Even though they failed to qualify for the Paris Major, they were qualified to play in the EU Challenger League in the most dominant way. Throughout the entire tournament, they didn't even drop a single map, but it was too early for celebrations. A massive organization came knocking on the door. Team Empire picked up the roster, and the machine was officially born. Under Team Empire, JoyStiCK became a monster. They tore through Challenger League Season 8.
Now it's a retake for the 2 roamers. JoyStiCK will not go. What? JoyStiCK turns on Uno.
The flash will get thrown in. The mute he's
but
no! What? JoyStiCK the reversal.
Gompy will refrag onto Garzeka, but he gets downed by JoyStiCK and a pistol kill! Holy, what is going on? Somewhat 2-1-on-2, but JoyStiCK once more!
Empire have taken it. Congratulations, they make it into Pro League.
They quickly showed a glimpse of their power to the world in the DreamHack Winter 2018. After dominating the group stage, they won their first match in the quarterfinals, but in the semifinals, they had to go up against G2 Esports. And for a team that hasn't even made their Pro League debut, it was too early to go up against such a big name. But either way, after they won the 3rd place match versus SSG, they finished top 3 in the tournament. And before they start to play in the qualifiers for the SI 2019, they played their first 2 games in Pro League. And it's fair to say that they started strong. In their first 2 matches, they ran over Penta Sports with the score of 7-5 and destroyed ENCE with the score of 7-3.
Wilkie as Sleben takes out Karzeka. Logic bombs will give away positions, and there he is, JoyStiCK unimpeded with a big...
They entered the SI 2019 qualifiers and did the unthinkable. Here, they didn't even drop a single map in the qualifiers either. They didn't look like rookies, they looked like they were there to dominate. The SI started. Team Empire, as the team who just made it to the Pro League, were put into the same group with some big names: SSG, Immortals, and Rogue. They defeated Immortals in a close match and were showing off against SSG. In the playoffs, they took down the great Latam team, Team Liquid, and Nora Rango in the semifinals. But they made the grand finals versus the greatest team in Siege history, G2 Esports. The match was legendary.
Empire going for a defense here of Billiards and Hookah, and it's a run out from JoyStiCK. He's going to do a whole mess of damage. 2 on the floor.
After playing the longest map of Siege ever, Empire looked burnt out.
And G2 will fall apart as Kanto's in. He's gonna grab 2 very fast kills. Won't grab the 3rd. Pengu walks in, pop up. He knows he's there, but Pengu misses the shot. And JoyStiCK, Fabian can't land the shots. There goes Karzeka. Shepard's the last one left. He needs to get into the site, and keep in mind, in a 4v1.
They gave it all they had in coastline and had nothing in them anymore. Empire lost and G2 were crowned as the champions again. But JoyStiCK viewed this loss differently. He said losing to G2 was nice because it gave them the motivation that they lacked. He wasn't crushed, he was hungry. Just 1 month later, after making a roster change, adding Dan to the roster after Shockwave left, their hunger paid off. They made it to the grand final of the Pro League Season 9 in Milan.
Behind a reinforcement, but again with these window repels, a Nitro comes soaring out, JoyStiCK with 2!
The cabinets inside of Archives look around and see Young like a mother hen on top of the diffuser. He'll drop him quite well, and Young had no idea that was coming. AG in a position now where they're going to have to try to come back. Oh! Dan, a beautiful shot onto Geo. As it looked like it was going to be a disable for a second there, and another! Dan on Skylight tying all of this together, looking for another body! Oh, he grabs them all! 3 kills! Watches, Geo goes for the plant. The sound cue will give Dan the information. Oh, he takes one down! Oh!
They defeated Troy Canadian's Evil Geniuses and were crowned as the Pro League champions. But this wasn't enough for JoyStiCK and Team Empire. JoyStiCK didn't really get to take his revenge on G2. The real story began in the Raleigh Major 2019. Both teams finished at the top of their own groups.
Sitting behind the half wall. Air jab though as JoyStiCK picks up 2! Fokkers fall! It's all up to the left, and JoyStiCK!
And by denying that, it plays TSM right in Empire's hands. Another peek from JoyStiCK. Certainly takes the man a moment, but he gets the 2nd kill against Bio, bringing us down to what?
Good luck tracks back, and no one's watching the hatch. That's exactly what's punishing him. He's gonna pick up 2, he's going for 3, and he gets it! JoyStiCK!
Both G2 and Team Empire ended up making grand finals, but not in the same way. G2 Esports didn't lose a single map throughout the entire tournament, but Team Empire had their highs and lows. Everybody expected another G2 victory, but JoyStiCK went nuclear in the grand final. His favorite moment of his career happened there, an Ace versus G2 on Border.
There you go, JoyStiCK. Oh, okay. So a bit of good luck and good aim on his side of things. There's another for JoyStiCK. 4 Team Empire came onto the hard breacher. How about a 4th? Takes down Fabian, all right. Oh! And an ace! What the hell, JoyStiCK? Metal bar, that could be their undoing. That could be fatal. Don't know if he sees the head of the Jaeger. Oh, he does! Uno now as well. He still has stim pistols left. Have to clutch this. An absolutely miraculous clutch. That won't happen because it's JoyStiCK.
Did by Kantor Ketty, and the Russian from Blue Bar. Goga gets one from behind is JoyStiCK!
No way! JoyStiCK still not aware of where anybody is! What? 2 kills, 3 for Shepard, and the Empire strikes back!
He later explained that in 2019 he was immature. In the game though, he took high-risk, high-reward fights because he wasn't thinking about the consequences. And because his aim and mechanics were god tier, those plays worked. They crushed G2 3-1. Team Empire were world champions. After defeating G2, JoyStiCK even got a text from the Russian professional tennis player Daniil Medvedev congratulating him on the victory. He was on top of the world, but gravity catches everyone. In 2020, the dominance dipped. They went from world champions to getting eliminated in the group stage of SI 2020.
The task and that they are contributing to the team, so that's a nice addition. How about this? My God! A huge start from Virtue!
JoyStiCK in the beginning of his career up until 2020 was kind of smurfing in the Russian competition, but in 2020 they found a new rival. Virtus.pro. They finished second in the Russian Major League Season 4.
Еще выход, ошибка, еще в свой же спрей, собственно, надо подниматься. Разгонки скутер, раз, Коржек отлетает, уже ВТГ душит. Амижен со спины прикрывает, Дан не может помочь, сейчас отлетает от Шоквейва с дробовика, и Шепард остается один. И, возможно, это будет крах Империи, повалил Шоквейва, 1 секунда, и ничего, уже ничего здесь не сделает.
Although they bounced back to win the 6th November 2020 Major against BDS, something was wrong.
They've got to hold the suppressive angle so they see him. He's long-arming it. It's one man left alive. Renshiro, you've got to do it now. He gets the kill, or almost does, but Empire...
By 2021, the results became so frustrating for JoyStiCK that he admitted that he almost quit. He felt like he was doing the wrong thing in life. The results reflected this struggle. In SI 2021, they finished 7th, eliminated by Team Liquid in the lower bracket. Mexico Major 2021 was a heartbreak, even though they started very strong in the Mexico Major.
JoyStiCK.
Did fine in the groups, were dominant in the playoffs, but lost to Team 1 in the grand final and finished second again. Even in the last map, they got dominated, only winning 1 round.
Seconds left, but it's been surrendered. And do you believe in magic, Michael?
And for the rest of 2021, the second place curse haunted them. Second in EUL SH3, second in Russian League Season 7, second in EUL Final versus BDS, and the cherry on top was the Sweden Major where they finished 12th.
As well, it's only up to Rempe now. Is he going to be able to go for a clutch as well? For an ace clutch even. He gets 2 to start it off. That's a potential 3rd, but then survives just barely. It's the 3rd one to come through. He spots one more. Is he going to be able to get that one? He swings around the corner. He gets a little bit out. No way, he gets a quad kill. That is his 2nd clutch in a row. What are we seeing right here, Emmy?
But he remembered his childhood dream. He said that you should never stop in front of your goals. And he decided to push once again. Here comes the SI 2022. Team Empire looks revived.
That's JoyStiCK trying to get the flank in, and no flank drones, nobody paying attention, and they're gonna lose so many lives. Dan with a triple kill.
Push their way into it as now Rexen tears 2 more players to shreds here. JoyStiCK sneaking in the back end though. He's gonna make this a winnable clutch, especially with 30 seconds left, and he'll just get it done. Nicely done from JoyStiCK.
They waited in the grand final. TSM fought their way back in the lower bracket for a rematch. They lost the grand final 3-1 versus TSM and Bolo, and threw multiple rounds on match point on the last map, Villa.
Hello, and he's got 2 of them with the diffuser down, a 3rd, but no, Dan walks away from that. Chala picks up 2 big kills. It's all up to Chala, but Dan can't get it. Down goes always. TSM are in such good shape. Scyther a desperation swing. Roof, he could engage, but he gets smoked by Achieved. Empire have come so close before, but they've fallen short, and they'll do so again.
JoyStiCK with Team Empire became the only team in CG3 to lose 2 Six Invitational Grand Finals. But the real tragedy was happening outside of the server. The organization was in chaos. Just a while after the second finish in the SI, they just suddenly kicked JoyStiCK, their coach, out of the team without telling anything to the players. And the players were given 2 options: either keep playing without your coach or leave the team. JoyStiCK, Shepard, Dan, and Always chose loyalty and left. They were put on the transfer list from February 24th to March 7th. And JoyStiCK said that at the time they were being scouted by several teams, but because of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine at the time, no organization could sign him. The window closed, they were stranded. For the rest of 2022, these 4 players were nomads. They played Gamers 8 qualifiers as the team this, whatever this is, that was a failure. And they even decided to start from scratch and start to qualify for the Challenger League by themselves under the banner E+4. That also failed. They tried to qualify for the SI 2023 under the name Outsiders.
He's probably going to have to drop the hatch here to get anything done, but Grubby sees to it that he can't. Pasha going to be the last remaining player here on the book. 10 seconds left. No diffuser, drops to his demise.
And Outsiders was technically Virtus.pro, another Russian organization, but again, because the organization was hit by Ubisoft sanctions following the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, they couldn't play under the banner of Virtus.pro. And Virtus.pro was the team that had their roster go inactive because of having disappointing results, decided to sign the Russian giants. In late 2022, VP officially signed the core, but it was super messy due to the strict transfer rules. They could only sign 2 players and 1 coach at a time. So JoyStiCK was technically signed as a coach initially, just to get him on the payroll until the next transfer window opens. Because of all the shitty things that happened to them in 2023, they missed out on the SI 2023. But either way, they had a great start in Europe. They were the kings of Europe in 2023. They won both stage stages of the EUL in 2023.
JoyStiCK hops in, there's only a couple of seconds. JoyStiCK! What's up? There's another bit of motion. All the weight of the world is on the shoulders of Benjamaster right now as Blur. Danger! He goes down, and it's Virtus.pro that go right up!
But in 2023, international success was hard to find. 9th place finish in the Copenhagen Major.
None of those left. Oh, and bad timing! JoyStiCK lines up 2 of them!
And even worse, a 10th place in Atlanta Major. The JoyStiCK and VP had no choice but to gather all their strength for the SI 2024 that was ahead. In the SI 2024, their old magic returned. They dominated the Group C of the tournament, finishing above W7M and Team Liquid. They started very strong in the playoffs, eliminating Ninjas in Pyjamas and later Dark Zero.
Exactly. Where the veteran gamer is going for the plank, and that should be the round. Indeed, it is for Virtus.pro.
But it was the Brazilians that ended JoyStiCK's SI dreams. They lost the upper bracket final versus FaZe Clan, and in their second chance in the lower bracket, they lost to W7M. They had very similar results in the Blast R6 Montreal Major. After having a very dominant group stage, they climbed their way up to the semifinals, but again fell short against W7M. 2025 began with high hopes. Early in 2025, the band got back together. Orjeka, one of the players of the prime Team Empire roster, returned to the squad, but this time as a coach. This was a promising change for the team, and this recently upgraded Virtus.pro's roster was looking at the SI 2025 as their first international stop. And as usual, they dominated the group stage, but in their first match in the upper bracket quarterfinals, they lost to Raza Company and were sent to the lower bracket, where they were stopped once again by a Latin American team, FaZe Clan. 2025 for every European team has been difficult, unless you're either Falcons or G2. The entire server are under the great shadow of Team Falcons and G2 Esports. But either way, VP finished 4th in the EU Meta League Stage 1, but 8th in the Stage 2. But either way, in the regional finals, they finished 4th again. And in 2025, they didn't qualify for any majors, but they were a part of the eSports World Cup in between the 2 EU stages. This was VP's only chance to win something internationally in years. Even though the results weren't terrible, they finished 5th, but JoyStiCK wasn't even among the top players of his own team. He was the 4th best player of his team with a rating of 1.05, only being positive 1 on KD. But JoyStiCK still disagrees that he has had a downfall in his career. He said that the game has changed a lot. The teams have gotten way smarter, and he is no longer the reckless kid running around with Ash. He is a veteran who understands the game deeper. But JoyStiCK's story is far from over. From a 13-year-old kid watching Dota tournaments to a 26-year-old legend battling through roster kicks, wars, and heartbreaks, JoyStiCK isn't just a player, he is a survivor.